Hi, I'm Josiah,
And I'm Elizabeth.
and this is Worth Watching.
So when do you think Denzel Washington will decide he's too old to be in action movies?
Oh, never. He's never going to stop. He's going to be fighting for truth and justice as a 90-year-old man with his wheelchair.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Worth Watching. Today we're reviewing The Equalizer, starring Denzel Washington.
So the plot of this movie is pretty much classic Denzel Washington movie. You have a man who just seems to be this unassuming, nice guy who sees someone being wronged and then decides that it's his job to go after the people who wronged this person. Now, Denzel Washington's character lives in Boston, which means there are a lot of people being wronged all the time, and he is just trying to be that guy who is there for the less fortunate and goes after the people who the law won't touch, who are the ones screwing everything up for those who are on the very bottom rung of society. Turns out some of those people are working for the Russian mob, which controls a large area of the city, and soon Denzel Washington is in a very, very messy situation that he has to get himself out of.
So one thing I really liked about this movie is Denzel Washington's character. He always plays the good guy who's always trying to do right, and it's like things you want to do to bad people, but you can't because you don't have the physical ability. But he just like pummels these people, and he just makes you feeling so good in the end.
Yeah, it's the first like 2/3 of this movie is some of just the most satisfying like rough justice stuff that I've ever seen. With just again, it's these people who the law is not gonna touch, and these corrupt people and stuff, and Denzel Washington just doesn't care and goes after them to help these people who he knows who are getting hurt by them. And it's really, really satisfying to watch in a sort of dark kind of way. But it's, yeah.
So as much as I love the fact that he's beating up people, the way he does it is like really gory and not normal as if like just shooting and stabbing people. It's creative ways he kills people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie's really violent and very viscerally violent, where you really just feel everything that's happening. And I actually really appreciated that because that kind of made it different, and especially the movie's a very slow movie for the most part. I mean, it's almost 2.5 hours long. I think it could have been probably 45 minutes shorter, maybe half an hour shorter, something like that if they wanted to, because a lot of it drags on. It starts off very slowly, but then out of the blue, Denzel Washington will stab someone in the face with a corkscrew or a broken shot glass or drill someone through the back of their head. Like, there's really disturbing, crazy, creative violence in this movie. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that helps break up the really sort of slow pacing that the rest of the movie has.
So I thought Denzel Washington was the only really good actor in this movie, especially all his coworkers I thought were not very good, and they could have been better, and they definitely made him look like he was the best.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with most of that. I, however, thought that the guy who played the villain, Martin Shokash, I thought did a really good job as his role. He brought this really sort of classy, sophisticated intimidation to it. He plays the sort of Russian mobster who's in charge of everything in the Boston area, and I thought he did a really good job at it, actually. So, and while I really did like a lot of things about this movie, I had a really good time with like the first 3/4 of it. The ending really went very quickly downhill for me and spiraled into just this massive like 90s cop drama cliches with just stuff happening where I was like, wow, are you really doing that? Like, I don't want to give any of it away, but let's just say parts of the ending involve the protagonist standing on a beach in the setting sun as the camera is doing like crossfade pans around him as he's staring off into the distance, and him walking through the rain in slow motion towards the bad guy as like guitar power chords are playing. It was really cliche stuff, and just like the whole movie, every Denzel Washington movie is a little bit absurd in the fact where it's, you know, it's a middle-aged, upper middle-aged guy going around taking on these trained people and just completely destroying them, but like you suspend your disbelief for that. But this movie goes a little farther than that and does stuff where you're just like, all right, he's basically Batman now, and for some reason he's not getting in trouble for any of this. There's just, I don't know, I don't want to ramble too much about it, but there's a lot of stuff towards the end that really bothered me and, in my opinion, took a lot away from what the movie was.
So with that in mind, what would you give this movie on an A through F scale?
Again, throughout the first half of it, I would have given it an A. However, I'm going to have to give it a low B because the ending for me really just damaged the movie a lot. And again, it had some pacing issues and things that sort of problematic in there. What would you rate it?
I'd have to give it a low B as well. I mean, I thought the suspense in it was good, but the gore in it, for me, I couldn't watch it. Thanks for watching this episode of Worth Watching.
Remember to like the video if you liked it, comment down below on your thoughts on The Equalizer, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more. Bye.
Bye.